Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Putri Widiani. I am from Universitas Sebelas Maret from Indonesia. Now, I want to presenting about numeration skill profile of high school students with high proficiency on space and shape content. Now, I want to explain about the introduction of this research. Nowadays, mathematics learning that takes place in schools is not only about using mathematical concepts or formulas. Being able to use mathematical concepts or formulas and being able to count is not enough to solve problems in everyday life. The ability to count is only a small part of mathematics, because now everyone must have the ability to solve problems, both in mathematics and in a real life. Learning in school from kindergarten to high school is starting to be applied with numeration skills. Numeration is the ability to think using concepts, procedures, facts, and mathematical tools to solve problems of everyday life in the various types of contexts which are related to individuals as a society. Numeration skills is not something new. It was initiated by the World Economic Forum or OECD. This numeration already appeared in 1959 in a report made to the British government. In 2006, UNESCO has listed numeration skills as one of the determinants of the progress of a nation. If we are proficient in numeracy, then we also have a sensitivity to enumerate itself and its relation to everyday life. If we are able to apply this sensitivity, then it will become impactful in country development, because it is able to maintain and manage natural resources and is able to compete with other countries for its human resource. The good of numeration skills are the best protection against unemployment, low incomes, and poor health. Numerical skills are needed in all aspects in life, whether at home, at work, or in society. In everyday life, when shopping or planning a vacation, borrowing money from a bank to start business or build a house, everything requires numeration. In social life, we need to understand information, for example, about health and hygiene. In the life of the state, information about the economy and politics is unavoidable. All of this information is usually expressed in numerical or graphical form. In order to make the right decision, like it or not, we must be able to understand numeration. Numeration refers to mathematical literacy in PISA when viewed from the domain or component in mathematical literacy. Numeracy is the same, namely content, cognitive, process, and context. The numeracy process capability consists of communication, mathematics, representation, reasoning and arguments, devising strategies for solving problems, and using symbols, formal and technical language and operation. And the seventh is using mathematics tools. And then, numerical content capabilities are divided into change and relationship, space and shape, quantity, uncertainty and data. Meanwhile, the numeracy context ability consists of personal, occupational, societal, and scientific. The benefits that can be obtained in knowing or studying numeration skills for high ability students, namely for other students, can learn from the process carried out by high ability students in honing their numeration skills in space and shape content. This step will encourage students to try to do the same thing in honing their numeracy skills in space and shape content. The courage to try and be confident in honing numeracy skills in space and shape content will create a habit that leads to the formation of capable abilities in solving problems in everyday life. These benefits can not only be felt by other students, but also for teachers or supervisors in learning. Knowing numeracy skills in space and shape content can encourage teachers to develop learning in demanding the students to solve problems that require various strategies. For this reason, this research aims to describe the numeracy skill of high-school students in the content, space, and shape. The focus in this research focused more on mathematics material related to geometry material for class 10 senior high school. Now I want to explain about the methodology of this research. This research uses a qualitative approach with the following consideration. 1. This study is an attempt to analyze numeracy skills in space and shape content. 2. The physiological state of the research subjects is in a reasonable state and there is no pressure or coercion. The design of the research flow begins with an analysis of the selected value for the accelerated program class entry, online learning activities at Google Meetings, observation and interviews for initial data collection, determining initial conclusion to take a sample of students with 2 highest scores on mathematical ability, preparing space and shape numeracy test question, and then observation of space and shape content numeracy test result, and then drawing a conclusions. This research was conducted at State Senior High School 1 Surakarta. The subjects of this research were students of class 10 at semester 2 acceleration program on geometry material. This study observes and measures students' test result in geometry learning in space and shape content, which refers to the indicators of numeracy ability process, namely 1. Communication, 2. Mathematics, 3. Representation, 4. Reasoning and argument, 5. Devising strategies for solving problems, 6. Using symbolic, formal, and technical language and operation, 7. Using mathematics tools. And this triangulation of this research is also used to avoid bias from the data that has been obtained. Researchers use different informants to strengthen the validity of the data. The research instrument was tested for validity to obtain a valid instrument that had been validated by an expert validator. Now, this is result and discussion. This is figure 1, answer result from work FZ. In the following, an analysis of the results of students' answer in written tests and interviews will be represented by two high ability students. High ability students are represented by FZ and AS. Now, we are analyzed from communication. In the answer of the question 1 from FZ, write down the information obtained in unknown and ask from and then explain the mathematical idea that is written in the form of an image. But the AS did not write the information in noun and ask form, but instead directly through the information it captured. FZ and AS were able to present the problem-solving process through pictures completely. In the drawing, it can be seen that FZ and AS have drawn very accurately. Although AS does not write what he knows, he is used to directly pouring his ideas into the drawing. And now from mathematics, in the answer to question 1, FZ, who initially brought information from the question in the form of being known and asked, FZ could pour the concept of the question into arrangement of image requested from the question. FZ can also make assumptions about mathematical models in the form of image correctly. Meanwhile, AS although initially not writing down the information from the question. AS can immediately pour the concept into the image arrangement requested from the problem and can immediately assume the mathematical model in the form of an image that is exactly the same as FZ's answer. And now we will explain about representation. In the answer to question 2, FZ is able to present information on real problems contained in the questions in the form of sentences, while AS is able to present information on real problems contained in the question in the form of image. AS presents in the form of pictures to clarify the problem in the problem. Although FZ does not present information in the form of image, both of them are able to present problems in the form of mathematical equation and solve problems using formulas. And now about reasoning and argument. In the answer to question 2, AS provides that the correct statement and completes the statement with logical reasons and use pictures to support the statement given. Although FZ does not include pictures, FZ can provide the right statement and complete the statement with logical reasons. However, both FZ and AS are able to use the relationship between the question given and the definitions they already know to analyze the situation or question so as to produce answers with a logical and clear reasons conclusion. And now about devising strategies for solving problems. In the answer to question 3, FZ and AS wrote down what they knew and what was asked in the question. FZ and AS were also able to identify the known element and the elements in question. In addition, FZ and AS also have a structured strategy to solve problems in the question. In the final results, FZ and AS can write correctly even though they use different methods. FZ used trigonometric rules on tangen, while AS used properties of special angles on triangles to find the answer. And now about using symbolics, formal and technical language and operation. In the answer to question 3, FZ and AS do not use the same way to solve the problem on the question. FZ use equation operation in trigonometric rules on tangen, while AS use language technique by analyzing the properties of special angles in triangles to find solution to problems. Based on the results and discussion, it can be concluded that the numeration skill of high ability students in terms of space and shape content in geometry material are capable and correct in every indicator of numeracy ability, namely communication, mathematics, representation, reasoning and argument, devising strategies for solving problems, using symbolic, formal and technical language and operation. Numerical ability on the 7 indicator, namely using mathematical tools, is not used because in solving the problems in this research, high ability students can still find problem-solving solution without using math tools. The results show that the students' numeracy skills were high, using operations which relates to basic mathematics in solving daily life problems and analyzing information displayed in a various forms like image very well and able to interpret the result of the analysis to predict and make appropriate decisions. I think it's enough about my presentation. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.